Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is RenderTechnician and welcome to a brand new series I'm running. It's called RenderTechnician Classic. It's going to be in the style of some of my earlier episodes, so for example, for One Night of Flumpties 2, first episode, Five Nights at Freddy's, where we give an in-depth look at the game. I will be doing this live, but I'll be doing it in more of a commentary fashion and less of a ooh-ee sort of fashion, if that makes sense. Right, left it okay, what are you? Oh, you're 96. Okay. So the one thing I've got to say about this game is it is a bit disappointing that it doesn't run in full screen. It runs in a windowed frame, which does kind of break the immersion. It means that the jump scares aren't as scary as they potentially could be, and that's definitely something I'd like to see added by the developer. That would be very useful. The developers also come forward and talked a bit about why the game isn't as hard as necessarily it could be. For example, one of the ways you can easily beat the game is to go to cam 1, shut cam 1, because as you can see where my mouse is, that cuts off this circulation area here, and then you just need to camp in the office because the probability of someone coming this side is now 0, so all of the enemies will be funneled into this side. Now the reason why this is so is because the developer wanted to go all out on the animations. So for example, you'll notice that there's an animation here where you'll see something walking behind this panel of glass. Oh hello, I didn't see that. That's definitely is not me paying attention. Okay. Right, okay, she's gone. So yeah, you've got the jump scares have a you see there's the guy. The jump scares have a lot of animations to them as well. More so than you'd conventionally have in like a Five Nights at Freddy's game. Granted, there was quite a few animations in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and to a latter extent FNAF 3, because the only one who really had a long drawn out animation sequence was Springtrap. The rest were fewer frames. So for example, Balloon Boy, I believe Balloon Boy has about 5 or 6 frames of animation. That's the same for Phantom Freddy, Phantom Chica, Phantom Foxy. And obviously the audio uses a lot of RAM as well. The main reason this game had to be cut down in terms of AI and visual design was because of the RAM limit. For those of you who aren't so clued up on collecting Fusion, there is a 2 GB application frame limit, and I think it's 1 GB per frame. So if you look at games like Five Nights at Candy's 2, Emil Marco actually had to segment the original 720 mode and the special 720 mode just simply because of the RAM limit. And again, that's why the game runs at such a reasonably low resolution. I mean, going back to FNAF 4, as I said earlier, FNAF 4, the jump scares have... oh, hello. Jump scares have a lot of frames to them, so I think it was either... it was between 20 and 30. And the reason it can achieve that is because it runs at 800 by 600. To put that into perspective, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and 3 run at 1024 by 768, and the original Five Nights at Freddy's runs at 1280 by 720. And I'm not sure it's supposed to be doing that. Well, no, it seems to be progressing quite quickly. Let's just stay here. I think the leopard is going to be on his way soon. I mean, if you look at some of the fan games as well, Five Nights at Land 2 is a very good example, because that game runs at 3840 by 2160. No, 3840 by 1080, sorry. And you can really tell, especially in parts of the office, the frame rate really takes a dive. And in games like this, you either have to decide between good pre-rendered graphics, a high enough resolution, and having good AI, because as we can see here, if you choose the high graphic quality and the good pre-rendered graphics, you're not going to have much room in terms of AI development. Not much seems to be going on now. It's just literally waiting till 6 AM. Again, this is demonstrating my point. Also remember, the reason why FNAF 3 could have such detailed environments was because you had Springtrap's AI, which was very complex, but then again that was only one character, whereas Balloon Boy, Shadow Freddy, Shadow Chica, and not Shadow, Phantom, why am I saying Shadow? So you had Phantom Chica, Phantom Balloon Boy, Phantom Foxy, and Phantom Freddy had very basic AI. So for example, let's just say for example Phantom Chica, say her picture shows up on the camera, that would activate a group, and then it would wait for you to pull down the camera, and then it would tell the game to show the jump scare and set the ventilation error counter to 1. So that's pretty easy and wouldn't take much RAM. Whereas in this game, because there's 4 animatronics, from what I'm aware, so there's 4 animatronics and each one has to patrol all of these rooms, as far as I'm aware. There might be a bit of overlap, and there may be rooms that some go into and not others, but that's still a lot of events you've got to take into consideration. So let's say, for example, each animatronic would have around about, I don't know, 25 positions they could be on the camera, and then you have the animation in the vent, and then it's got to load also, what if it's here? Because just because it's not loaded doesn't mean it isn't in the RAM, so to speak. And then you have like the animation here, and you either have to have high RAM usage or you end up with frame rate problems. I mean, if you look at a lot of FNAF fan games, again going back to Five Nights at Toverland 2, when you scroll past the office, if there's a lot of events going on in the background, say for example a lot of people are moving, or specifically you're playing at 620 mode, you would see some frame rate drops. So I think it ran at about 23 frames per second, and you can really tell. Okay, well we've hit 7 AM. Again, it's a very easy night. It's a pretty easy game, but the developer has come forth and said he's going to be working a lot harder on the sequel. Well, it's not a case of working harder, he's going to shift his priorities. Which is fair enough. I mean, it's the old ethos of a person that tries the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. Well, that's it for this episode of RenderTech Classic. Do let me know if you like this style. I'm going to try and make this a weekly thing, just simply because I've got a lot of feedback and people have said that they like this sort of style. But I'll be keeping the regular sort of videos where we play either horror games or we shout at the mic excessively. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this pilot episode of RenderTech Classic, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take care, everybody.